Hey everybody, it's Linda G and here's Sterling.
Good morning, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Festive, he's got a thing going.
I take no credit for that. That's always Linda doing those things. So.
Yeah. Oh, I love that Santa that you sent me the picture of the Santa you guys have in the
Yeah. He's in the back area there. I'll have to get him out at some point. Yep.
Yeah. They have this almost human size. It looks real.
It is. Yeah.
If I walked in, I'd be saying, "Excuse me, are you single?" No. Okay. From the other side, does Princess Diana have a message for us? I like that.
She did. And so I spoke with her yesterday, just a wonderful spirit, wonderful energy. And there were about 5 or 6 things she wanted to come through with. So I absolutely said I would do that. By the way, before I start this off, I had talked with her, and then later on that night, Lynn and I were just kind of watching TV or something. I walked into the room, came into an office area that had a TV going, and a big picture and a biography of Diana was on TV. I thought, wow, that's a message. So
Wow.
anyway, a couple of things she came through with. The first was that she said, right now in this time, a period on Earth is a time for self-love and for loving other people. That was interesting. Self-love, not people love themselves, show them love, and then love for other people. The other thing was she was very proud of the progress made kind of around the world on a lot of the causes she had been working on, 9 or 10 of them, and was really happy with her sons, things her sons had done. And I think some of the causes were like landmines and AIDS and homelessness, that kind of a thing. So she was very happy with all that. She also made it clear she wanted to get this across, that she accepted her destiny, that how everything worked out here on Earth, and when she crossed over, she accepted all that and was fine with how it all played out. Felt she had a lot of things she wanted to do, she got done while she was here. And right at the very end, she said that she wants everybody to realize that we're one world. We're one world. And so now we have to get through healing around the world, not just the United States, but she was going to work with Biden and Kamala to kind of get this all taken care of. So she wanted to get those couple of messages through. So I said I would do it.
Fantastic. Thank you. She's probably in such a beautiful soul energy right now. She had so many heartaches in her younger day. She took her ego self quite seriously. And I think she was just coming out of it, like me. You know, when I turned 50, suddenly my life changed on a dime. And it was great because that past life, you know, even though I was younger,
sure,
I wasn't happy. I was never happy.
Right.
Well, 45 tried to flee the country before Biden takes office as to avoid prosecution.
That's a definite yes, and it looks to me like it's going to happen in the month of December, probably prior to the end of the month of December. So there's some sort of an excursion that takes place to the Middle East, probably Saudi Arabia. Now, the only thing I'm unclear on is when he makes the kind of escape, if you will, whether he does it in the guises of presidential business, I've got to go to Saudi Arabia, or he use some other mechanism.
So he'll still be president when he does his exit stage.
He will.
That makes sense because as a citizen, they might even put something on him where they say you can't leave the country.
Yep, he will.
Robert Mueller was spotted at DOJ recently, and rumor has it that he is coming back to the DOJ. Is that true?
No, he's not coming back in an official capacity, but what he is doing is going to work behind the scenes. He actually believes he can be more effective working behind the scenes across governmental agencies to help wherever he can, instead of being an official capacity where it's a little more difficult for him. So I see him supporting a lot of organizations behind the scenes, working with Biden, but not taking an official position.
I never saw him taking another thing, but I almost felt like he got called in because it's still under Republican rule.
Yeah, he definitely wants to help.
That Durham guy that they're going to leave there.
Right.
Okay. What will be the outcome of Michael Flynn asking 45 to declare martial law to order a new election? Is he really doing that?
Well, I mean, that's a big no on that. I mean, that's not going to happen. They're not going to declare martial law. No, it's a big no on that. But the thing is, even if he tried, and he's not going to try, that would be shut down very quickly by very military groups and the federal government wouldn't happen. No.
I felt like the military would not hear of it. Absolutely not. You can't use us as your ploy to be
Right.
a big winner.
Exactly.
That is something. Flynn, I mean, he just got given a pardon, and he's out there talking traitorism. It's just amazing. Instead of like going home and being grateful that he's got trouble coming up too.
Well, the whole group does. Yeah.
Yeah. In the future, do you see John Ossoff being a presidential candidate?
No, I do see him involved in government for a couple of decades, so to speak, but I don't see him making a run for president or being president. No.
Okay, thanks. Will the attorneys for 45 calling for the death of the government officials suffer any consequences?
The answer is no. If that's inference like any legal trouble or jail time or something, no.
Or have their license removed.
Yeah, no, it looks to me like a lot of it's going to blow over in terms of, a lot of things there, that Biden's and the whole organization is going to try to put behind them, almost the way, the nation tried to heal after Nixon a bit, let's just get rid of a lot of this. And because you could litigate it to death and then it's all over the news all the time. And
right. Do spirit guides ever stand in the room with me? I have a dog that always looks up at the ceiling as if there's a presence in the room. He never seems alarmed and watches for my reaction.
Yeah, that's 100% yes to that answer. That angels, guides, family members can absolutely stand in the room. Absolutely. In fact, we're even where we are here in Southern California. There's a lot of Native American territory. We're here at one point, and we had Indian chiefs walking through all the time, standing in rooms. So, yes, absolutely. Animals that passed over can be in the room, and one of your animals can see the animal, or a spirit, or a guide, or a family member. Yeah, absolutely.
I saw my deceased Moochie in living color. I saw her as clear as day in this house that I had just purchased and just brought Lulu home. And it was like she was coming up to say, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
I almost looked at her to acknowledge her, and then I realized, wait, you're dead.
Yeah.
One time, Mom, go ahead.
We had a couple of mastiffs here recently that passed away, a year or so. But then our Saint Bernard, whenever he went over to the beds that they used to sleep on, he would bark and scratch at the beds. But he was actually telling them to kind of get off. That was the mastiff's bed. They were there. So I want to sit down. So, things like that will occur. It's kind of interesting.
My mom, one time, she had rheumatoid arthritis, and our beds, me and my sister's beds in our room was higher. And she liked to go lay down on one of our beds. She used to lay on mine, I think, in the afternoon when we were at school. And we had a little dog named Cookie. And the dog would get up on the bed and be down by her feet. And she said one day that dog the hair went up on its back, and it was going backwards like she was scared to death. Nothing manifested, but that dog saw something.
Oh, yeah. Animals are perceptive.
Very perceptive. I keep seeing repeated numbers, 111, 11, 222, 444, multiple days in a row. Why?
So first off, whoever asked that question, congratulations. That's a sign of awakening, because not all people see repeating numbers. So when you first start seeing repeating numbers, that's like the beginning of a journey that you're awakening to the other side. It's also your guides and angels communicating messages to you. So every single one of those repeating digits, as you know, Linda, the ones, the twos, the 3s, 4s, 5s, all have very specific meaning in numerology. It's real. 5, for example, a lot of repeating 5s mean big change coming up. A lot of times it's good change. 1 can mean be very positive. I think 4s mean your archangels and your family members are around you, supporting you in your life's work. So congratulations. They all mean something, and you're getting the message.
I know if you even Google the numbers, they'll have meanings on there.
Yep, absolutely.
If the Democrats gain control of the Senate in January, will they hold onto it and the House of Representatives in midterm election 2022?
They will, absolutely. And it's going to be a little bit of a schoolyard fight, as they say, with all the voting, and all that. But the Democrats will hold on. And it's mainly because a lot of the programs that the nation's going to start seeing out of the Biden administration will carry momentum. So it'll carry through that election as well. So
people will like what he works on.
They will. People will start to heal. Programs will come into effect. It's, people will start to see the benefits, and they'll maintain the Democratic seats. They will.
Good. That's fantastic. I always saw Biden with his hand out, so like he's working across the aisle. And I see Republicans even that vote on his behalf. Like Trump won't own them anymore.
That's very true. And Biden has a reputation of working across the aisle. He's fairly good with that. He even tried to work many years with Mitch McConnell, as you know. They try to get a lot of things done. So he's going to try. He'll do it.
Yeah. But the thing is, America is healing and will advance because of him.
It will. It will.
And he said he's going to put out those vaccines at no charge to anybody. You'll just be able to get a free vaccine.
Correct.
But you're also free not to have it if you don't want it.
Right.
Why are humanoid aliens only Nordic Europeans, no Asian, Africans, etc.?
Well, the reality with that is that the only ones that look kind of close to being humanoid are like the Pleiades, look very, kind of Nordic. However, all the other alien species don't really look like races that are here on Earth. So just to go in a level of detail, it's not that there are no aliens that look Asian or African American or whatever race you're calling up. It's most of the races don't look, they don't look like any races here on Earth. That's the key.
Wow, thank you. I know Ruth Montgomery, when I used to read her book, she talked about the original tribes that came to Earth, and there was like even a violet color.
There's many.
Yep. Okay. Will there be a time in the future when credit cards or similar kinds of accounts can't be hacked?
The answer to that is yes. And get down to a point where the probability of hacking is just so minor, it really doesn't happen. But that's going to happen for two different reasons. One is blockchain technology, which is already coming on the scene, you have to use validation for a lot of computers, a lot of different networks. So it's a ledger that's spread out worldwide. So blockchain technology will be in effect, as will supercomputers. So that'll also be one of the benefits of supercomputers.
Can you explain blockchain a little bit more?
Yeah, so it's a way of validating a transaction. Any transaction that occurs, let's say you're using your credit card at a store, at a supermarket, if there's blockchain technology behind it, that transaction gets validated by a whole host of computers worldwide on a ledger, and many, many thousands of ledgers. So there's no way to cheat because of this cross-validation of a very wide network. That's the way kind of blockchain works, simply put. It started off being used in cryptocurrency, but now it's a lot of major banks are using it. IBM has been a big player in blockchain technology. But that also telling me that the supercomputer technology coming is going to be very helpful with that, as well as the whole back end. And they just proved, I just saw a news article this week, that now in the supercomputer area, they can now do transaction that are faster than real time. So it's almost, and I'm saying real time, but it's faster than even any normal linear time. That's what I'm trying to say. It's faster than linear time. So there's some big breakthroughs happening there. Yeah.
I know, even like if you try to sign on to my Google account, if they don't recognize where it's being, if you're going onto it from a different location, they send you a sign-in code, and you have to identify that code before they'll let it go through. And my credit card, every time I'm at the store using my credit card or my US bank card debit, and you can hear the ding on my phone. They let me know there's a charge. Yeah, so I could see that. I could see where it's getting harder.
Yeah, and that's really two-factor authentication you're referring to, different than blockchain.
Oh, okay. Is there any limit of how many times we can be reincarnated? I've never heard that question.
Yeah. There isn't a limitation. There isn't. But there is a human choice or a spiritual choice that at some point you may say you don't want to be reincarnated again, but then you may take a job as a spiritual guide on the other side. So I see a lot of times guides, I see people's spirit guides, they may have been Native Americans that were here many lifetimes and now they've risen to a level, or they may be Spanish or Italian monastery, monks that were here. But so you can reincarnate as many times as you want, but you could stop the process and do other things on the other side.
Right. And it's not too often you die and take another body. That does happen, but it's not as, because I see a lot of families going in groups. So lots of times you go over and your parents are there, etc.
Yeah. By the way, I was getting one other mention just in relationship to reincarnating. A lot of times it's many, many years in between reincarnation cycles. I mean, it could be decades or 100 years.
Right. 100
But
years.
I have seen over my time of doing this kind of work that at one point there were a number of Holocaust victims that came back very quickly within years or 10 years. So some of the Holocaust victims came back very quickly to help. So it was interesting.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's great. Do our loved ones hear us when we carry on a normal conversation with them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing, that your spiritual family, your extended spiritual family, relatives, they all hear you when you speak. Absolutely. And
They all,
yeah.
When I'm doing readings and I'll get a parent or something, and they always tell me to tell that child or whoever, please know that I'm always with them, and I hear them. They'll sit in the car sometimes and you'll feel them and they're listening to you. So
yeah. And a quick reference point there I'll just make is that many times I'll get people say, can my relatives hear me? And so we'll be speaking with her mother during the session. I said, well, your mother is telling me she tries to tap you on the shoulder all the time. Do you ever feel the taps? And she goes, well, this lady said, well, not really, but I do see something right at the corner of my eye, on my left and my right, my peripheral vision. And I said, that's your mother. So it's interesting, people kind of get the clues, but they don't understand that that's what's going on.
So logical. We always try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Will Cleopatra's tomb ever be found?
Absolutely. And in the not too distant future, they're telling me that scientists or archaeologists are looking kind of in the wrong place, but it will be found under a major pyramid, or this could be a major monument. I'm getting reference to a pyramid or a major monument, but they're looking in the wrong place, but they will find it. They will. Okay.
So she had probably something put on it that they don't realize it was for her.
Well, no, I think what I get on that is that there was a whole extended range of gold and assets and things of that nature they wanted to doubly protect. Oh. So they made it that much more difficult to find.
Will the $908 billion bipartisan proposal pass?
The answer is yes, but with a qualifier that looks like it'll pass in what I call tranches or chunks. So it may not all pass at 908 billion. It may go through 250 billion at a time, or 500 billion, but it's going to go through in tranches attached to other bills. But I do see a lot of that happening before the end of the year.
Will McConnell get his no, you can't turn around and sue somebody for catching COVID on the job?
No, I mean that looks like that's not going to go through. So
he's insisting on it, but
Yeah, no, I do not think that that's going to be part of it. No.
I know what is that meat packing company that they actually lied. Their interpreters lied to non-English speaking people and told them, "Oh, there's no problem. Nobody's sick," and everybody got sick. So there's a big lawsuit coming up on that. But will people actually get a check, or is that going to be when Biden comes in?
Yeah, so I definitely see the unemployment coming back, like in a big way, the unemployment compensation, and also there was another provision I think in there, which was whether you get evicted or not, the eviction provision.
Okay.
I'm not sure, and I don't believe the extra $1,200 check stimulus is going to happen before the end of the year.
Yeah,
it will happen when Biden. Yeah, that extra stimulus won't happen, but it will happen when Biden gets in.
People were looking so forward for Christmas.
Yeah.
Do you foresee any health issues with COVID vaccine?
And this is, I said, for entertainment purposes only, right? The whole show, entertainment purposes only. So interestingly enough, I have spoken with my guides, angels, on this a couple of times. Here's what's going on. They told me that everybody, vaccine will be available worldwide in hundreds of millions of doses by August, by next August. It's hundreds of millions of doses to cover the world. It'll come from 4 different manufacturers. But one of the things that is going to happen early on is as the vaccine's available, the effectiveness will be, maybe not as strong as it should be. The vaccine will evolve.
Okay.
So the only danger that I guess I'm putting out there, my guides are putting out there, is that what you don't want is a lot of people to take the vaccine. Not saying it's dangerous, but people might walk around saying, now I'm Superman and I can't get anything.
Yeah.
So that's on the danger side. Everybody has to be still cautious.
Right.
Take it slowly, but don't think because you got the vaccine, now you're impervious, you can't hurt you or your family. That may not be the case until it all gets worked out.
Right. I actually feel masks will be around for a while.
Right.
I have everything I need and I'm not depressed. However, I feel I have no passion or excitement in life. Can a soul get tired? If so, what can I do to re-energize it? Re-energize it.
So many times when people, they get depressed or they're not motivated, a lot of times that's because you're not living your soul's purpose, pretty easy. Good way of looking at that. If you're doing something you're passionate about, you never work a day in your life. However, when you don't feel motivated, you don't feel the passion, that is a signal from the universe, a little bit of a kick in the pants to take some heed, take a look at what your life purpose should be, get on track. So it's not a bad thing. It's just a little bit of a kick in the pants. So
and you everything you need in a material sense is, as a man thinks, there's another sense, a spiritual sense.
Absolutely. Talk to anybody that's extremely wealthy and you'll find that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
China has recently taken steps to hurt Australia economically and are now openly threatening Australia. What is China up to?
It's all about resources. Looks like, because I think Australia supplied a lot of resources, whether this is, ore or other materials to China. Now China's trying to get a stranglehold on resources, access to resources, and influencing government to try to make that happen. However, I do see that Australia is smarter than that, and a lot of government officials are already onto that. So they're going to, like us over here in the U.S., going to be careful about infiltration of the election and government. So it's about resources. Yeah.
Will Biden get all his first choice cabinet positions?
In the largest sense, yes. But there's going to be a lot of, it looks to me like in a few minor cases, I'll give you 3 to 4. It's going to be a little bit of a battle and a challenge, but the majority of them will go through. They will.
Thank you. Will gene splicing be used to cure mental illness?
Yeah, it will be. It'll be very effective, like in another 2 decades, because you got about a decade before gene splicing gets to be much more conventional and understood. And then within about a 2-decade period, to be able to help cure mental illness, you will. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Are all major life events we experience planned before we reincarnate?
They are. So before we come down here, you really do lay out almost your business plan, your life plan. So it's I choose these are my parents. These are the lessons I'm coming down to learn. These are the soulmates on my path. These are the road signs along the way to wake me up if I get off my plan, which is kind of interesting. We all pre-plant road signs if we get off track. But that's absolute yes. Yeah.
You just talked about Lady Diana, and she had made the agreement, and she was happy she did.
Exactly.
What is the importance of praying?
Praying is an outward request and a signal to your angels and your guides and universe that you want to get on a track. So there's something you're trying to manifest, whatever it is. It's health, but it's a signal to the universe that I could use some help here, but here's the kind of help I'm looking for. So it actually, by you praying, you're helping them manifest the result.
Oh, cool. I missed a question, so I'll go back to this question. Do closed Do cloned animals and possibly humans in the future have the same spiritual structure as natural counterparts? Very interesting question.
Yeah, so while the physical dimension, the physical body is the same, spiritual dimension is different. So you won't have the same spirit, identical spirit inhabiting the two clone bodies, if you will, or physical. So you have it's different spirit, even though the physical body looks the same.
Okay, well, how is it chosen who wins the lottery?
So this is a combination of free will and someone's life path. So while there's a lot of free will in everything that we do, there are individuals where the lottery win is on their path. And some people might say, well, that sounds surprising. No, interestingly enough, if on your life path is to win the lottery and then start a big benevolent foundation, that's actually part of your life path. Likewise, if you win the lottery and now it's a tremendous failure to the family and a lot of people around you, that's also a life lesson.
Right.
So there's a human free will factor, but it's also a lot of it's life path, which is interesting.
Very interesting. Will we have free energy in our lifetime? What? No PG&E bill?
So that question refers to some of the very basics of energy principles on this planet on Earth. So energy cannot be created or destroyed. Concept of free energy has to do with understanding the differences in what's called enthalpy and entropy. Like there's a Gibbs equation for that.
Right.
However, you can't there's no machine on Earth that can make energy out of nothing. However, the question is, will it happen in our lifetime? It will, because the aliens already understand how to do this. So it's not in our knowledge right now. Just the way nano level semiconductors were not available to mankind for a long time until aliens interacted. Likewise, free energy will be something that will be brought to the planet.
Right, but Tesla tried to start that.
Well, there's been a lot of theories around it, a lot of papers on it. Einstein had some papers, Nikola Tesla, yep.
And the big businesses try to stop, like even with oil and stuff. They don't want the coal. It's something that people don't want you to go advance because it's paychecks for everybody else. Yeah. But I think they'll train everybody to work on the new beginning.
Yeah. But this free energy is really a concept that comes out of physics and science, is to be able to create energy out of nothing. So there's no machine on Earth that creates energy out of nothing. It's a scientific principle,
Oh, okay. What is Katie Porter's future in politics?
A good run in politics for at least a couple of decades, and even a potential run for president, but it will be an unsuccessful run. So she'll end up getting into a field of candidates of 10 candidates, but it won't go the distance, but she will try.
Okay. People really like her.
Yeah, nice lady.
What did Tesla mean by 369? Is that some kind of code? I don't even know what this question is.
That is, those are like master keys to the universe. So 3, 6, and 9, especially 3, has a direct relationship on the atomic level, the way things go together, the way atoms and neutrons and whatnot associate with each other. But what I'm being told, the 369 has a lot to do with the way galaxies are structured. So as we get more knowledgeable about galaxies and things outside of our understanding, there is a master code in the relationship of all things that gets back to 3, 6, and 9. Wow. So that's the relationship, science, technology, atoms, neutrons.
Okay. Do you see anything coming up next week?
I do. This is something that's going to start coming on the scene here, but I see what I'm going to be very careful to say here. With 45, I see some mental health challenges, some mental health where there's going to be some suspicious activity that's going to raise some questions. I do see that. I see the Southern District of New York moving more aggressively towards Jared on some litigation. So they're understanding the Trump organization is getting ready for a massive number of pardons. So I think you're going to see that this coming week too. Giuliani, the entire family. I think 45 will try to pardon himself. And I think the Southern District of New York is going to start jumping the gun here. You'll see it. They say we got to get ahead of this freight train a little bit.
So will these pardons actually stick, or are they going to find something in there that they'll say?
Exactly. So they're not going to be bulletproof. That's the key. So there'll be certain either state or federal charges that will not get shielded by the pardon.
Okay.
So yeah, that's true. And I do see the stimulus package. We'll call it the package they're trying to get through Congress. They'll make some significant progress on that this week with Biden's help, Kamala's help. Obviously Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, looks like even, a whole group of GOP are going to try to help as well.
Wow. Okay. Do you have any information that your guys want to share?
There are, and they brought it to me this week almost in what I'll call the 3 L's, the 3 L's. So they're saying that while you're here, we all know this is a school, but you want to identify the lessons that you were sent down here for. You want to learn those lessons. That's the second L. And then you want to move forward in love. So what you learn, you want to pass forward. So it's almost like understand why we're here, the school, the education, the 3 L's, and then move forward in love, not fear, right? Because 2 energies in the world, love and fear.
It up. Yeah. I love it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's it for the holidays, as they say.
That's it. That's a holiday reading right there. Right here. Okay, my friend. Thank you. We'll see you next Sunday. And
a quick footnote: if anybody wants to reach me for a session, that's sterlingpsychicmedium.com.
And it'll be in the box below, you guys.
It will be.
Yeah.